Hey everyone, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more FC 24. Manchester United career mode here today on the channel. We have season 2 episode 4 of my realistic and sensible ultimate difficulty tactical view career series here today. First up, we've got a match against Chelsea, which will be interesting. We also have the second leg in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. We are also in the January transfer window. So if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. So first up, here today, we're facing Chelsea. Chelsea have been an interesting side over the last 2 seasons. They haven't had the best Premier League form, but we do tend to have quite decent and interesting matches against them. Unfortunately for them, they're not even in the top 6 as we go away to Stamford Bridge. Obviously trying to hit our main objectives of trying to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Hopefully we can do it. Player to watch, Bruno Fernandes in top-notch form. We're still fighting in the FA and Carabao Cup. We are in the round of 16 knockout phase against Benfica, so we've got that to look forward to after the window. But unfortunately, we go 1-0 down just before the 23rd minute, thanks to Peter Zielinski, who came from Napoli, the Polish international, has moved to Chelsea, a pretty decent signing for them. Reece James, of course, is going to be facing his former side. He was told he wasn't good enough, he wasn't welcome, and was moved on to Leipzig last season. He played a full season in the Bundesliga, regaining his form, and he wanted to come home back to England. He didn't want to go back to Poch and Chelsea, but ultimately made the decision to join us. Zielinski scores his first goal within 7 matches, joining the Blues. So we're 1-0 down at the Bridge. Chelsea looking to extend their lead. Mudryk is being an absolute handful for us as Chelsea go forward again. Zielinski, incredibly influential, nearly manages to backheel it. We've got a counter-attack here. Fernandes finds Rashford. He holds the run of Dusan Vlahovic, and unfortunately we lose possession of the football. Zielinski back on it again, lines up Jackson, who absolutely dummies Luke Shaw, and just before half-time, Manchester United, the Red Devils, are going to have to stare down the tunnel to a 2-0 lead for the Blues. Courtois, of course, facing his former side as well. Absolutely shell-shocked and gobsmacked to be conceding 2 goals in his old, traditional stomping ground. And I'm furious on the touchline. It's been a pretty slow day at the office for the boys, and we're going to need a big lift if we are to come back in this Premier League fixture. Fernandes tries to go forward, loses possession, somehow wins it back. Rashford gets it to him. Bruno goes up the other end, and it's a heroic goal attempt from the Portuguese international. The captain of our football club, he bleeds Manchester United through and through. Picks up the footy because he knows we have to go back, reset in the centre circle. I also said centre square in the last video. I didn't pick up on it until a comment, but it's because I'm watching so much AFL over the previous months. It's a centre square in AFL. It's a centre circle in football. Oops. 2-1 down. United looking for the second, and we eventually do it thanks to Bruno Fernandes. Once again, he wants to win this. He picks up the footy clearly and wants to run at it again. It's a brilliant brace from Bruno Fernandes, as always. Somehow hits it. I don't even know how. With a 0.0 expected shot. I don't even know how that's possible. In the sense of, I guess, there were so many of them blocking. No one usually goes for that attempt. Hang on. If that's 0.0, how's that possible? Surely it had to be at least 1%. Maybe that just maybe that just calculation just lies. And it's random. It's not accurate at all. That's made me suspicious now. 2-2, Chelsea go forward, and an amazing ball comes into Jackson in the 90th minute. Unfortunately, we lose it at the Bridge in an absolute heartbreak. Pochettino is going to claim victory here today. Jackson runs in to celebrate with him. And this new, youthful Chelsea has still got a lot to improve, but comparing Chelsea to previous years on FIFA, I would say, although the league overall is a lot more competitive, a lot of teams can win the Premier League. You're going to notice when you do multiple seasons of career mode in FC 24, there's going to be a lot of different winners, especially on Legendary/Ultimate, just due to how many good teams there are. I don't think Chelsea's going to be really that up there. I actually think this is one of the worst Chelsea sides in career mode, even though we just lost to them, which was just unlucky in the 90th minute. What can you do? We probably deserved a draw out of that. Bruno Fernandes, brilliant brace. Jackson, you could arguably say as well. Chelsea made the most of it as we go back to the dashboard. Now, we have finally found a deal for Onana. Unfortunately, he spent 6 months or so on the bench as Courtois comes in, but he's going on a 2-year deal to Sevilla to hopefully regain some form. And by the time he comes back, if he's 88/90-ish rated, Courtois is probably going to be retiring and he'll be back into the first team. So, back into the Carabao Cup, 4-4. We managed to draw at Old Trafford against them. We've got the second leg now. It's technically not a replay. A little bit annoying. I would have rather it just gone to a penalty shootout and extra time. But so be it. We go away to Molineux. So here we go to keep our Carabao Cup dream alive. Unfortunately, Acuna goes up the other end and starts off the scoring 35 minutes in. A little bit quiet in the first half an hour, and the first real chance goes to Wolves. They now sit 5-4 on aggregate, and at this point, it's probably just wasting our stamina. It's probably just fatiguing most of the players that really they really need to rest up in January and get prepared for the February Champions League fixtures. But it looks like this is going to be an absolute nail-biter here today. I've already won the Carabao Cup. The board isn't invested in it that much, and quite honestly, neither am I. But 3-4, we need to put out a good showing here, because I do believe that if you can do well in the Cups, the FA and the Carabao, good fixtures can and performances can bleed over into those other comps. But Bruno Fernandes goes forward, finds Rashford, and converts. It's going to be just who can outscore each other. Both defences are very, very fragile at the back and in the defensive line. It is now 5-5 on aggregate, and it is really now anyone's game. Will it be Wolves? Will it be Manchester United to take the ascendancy? Wolves are playing some very, very nice and strong football against last year's Carabao Cup champions, which is us. Kuna going forward, still sitting 5 at the back. I want to do the entirety of this season 5 at the back gegenpress. I still think that the 5 at the back has really stopped us from conceding as much as last season. It has stopped our attack a little bit, but we're still putting out some pretty decent performances as Rashford goes up the other end, makes it 2-1, and gives us the lead at half-time as we go on into the changing rooms at Molineux away. Would have been a little bit easier if this was at Old Trafford, having that home ground support. It's nearly an extra man, having them in the stands, putting on the pressure on the refs to give the right calls. But it's going to be a close one here. And if we are to progress and succeed, it's probably going to be against potentially Aston Villa or Chelsea. Rashford takes the lead, 5-3. Obviously, just amazing. He's been such a high-quality player. He's probably rocketed up in stats this season. I haven't checked overall ratings just yet. 2-1 up. Wolves back on the pitch from extra time. Lose the football. It's 6-5. Rashford goes forward. Beats one. Can he beat the second? Doesn't opt for the attempt. Finds Fernandes, who hits it from outside the box. It's a top left sizzler as Manchester United go 3-1 up in this match just before the 50th minute. And the Red Devils and the boys are keeping their Carabao Cup fixture alive. They're coming giving me a hug because they know that if I win this trophy, it might stave off a sacking if we don't win anything else. 18 metres out, Bruno Fernandes gets his foot up and under it, and it's a fantastic goal from Fernandes. Back to the centre circle now. Wolves, you wouldn't put it past them scoring another goal. They've scored already 5 over 2 legs in this tie. They go forward. Smith Rowe, incredibly influential in that first leg, hasn't stamped his authority on this match as Wolves go forward. And I'm nearly tempted to sign this guy called Acuna because he is relentlessly scoring goals against us. The former Atletico Madrid. What is he? He's probably more of a centre forward, kind of. It'd be weird calling him a striker, but I guess he kind of is. He played in Germany for a bit, didn't he? Didn't he play for... Oh, God, I'm not going to remember. It was like Hoffenheim or something, wasn't it? Before eventually ending up at Wolves. The Portuguese nationality and speaking hub, although he's Brazilian. So 3-2. We still have the lead in this fixture. But it's still going to be a close match. Rashford now with a free kick. Chips it at the back post. Fernandes can't get to the header. It gets spilled to Dawson, who tries to build it out from the back for Wolves. Wolves go forward. Acuna fires it into Smith Rowe. And finally steps up in this match. And like I said, it's just an absolute shootout. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's 3-3. Smith Rowe puts his name on the score sheet. How is this fixture going to end? Who knows? Win, lose or draw? Or will it go to penalties? After full time. 3-3. Going to an absolute insane total on aggregate. 7-7. First team still out there. No substitutions have come on. Fernandes slips it into Dusan Vlahovic. And hopefully that's the winner. The Serb goes forward. Makes it 10 goals for United, I think. Well, over 10 goals over these 2 legs, definitely. Hits it with his left foot. Curling it into the back of the net. Expertly. And hopefully that's this fixture dead, done, and dusted. As Manchester United take the lead 4-3. Sitting on an aggregate of 8-7. Coquelin finds Smith Rowe. It's a big save by Courtois and have probably denied Wolves a definite goal there. But unfortunately, it was only going to be a matter of time before we concede another. It's now 8-8 again. So this fixture has it all. Absolute shootout here. No one can seem to save for the life of them. I feel like Courtois probably only made the first real save just a bit before. And then ultimately it's just nullified by a crazy goal. Wolves want this Carabao Cup trophy. They are trying so hard. But so are we. Frankie de Jong gets released. Unfortunately puts it too far out in front of him. Fernandes in the 90th minute. Frankie still wants that goal. And Frankie gets it. 5-4. Manchester United finally take the final lead. And it's going to be, would you believe it, another 1-goal victory in the Carabao Cup. We beat Liverpool by a point. We beat Manchester City by a goal. And we've just beaten Wolves by a point as well. Absolute scenes of adulation as Frankie de Jong seals it for the Red Devils. And this team has a lot of guts, a lot of gusto. We've rebuilt it well. It's a strong enough side to win trophies. And now we've proved it that we can make back-to-back cup finals. Frankie de Jong, 2 goals in 5. So impactful in this midfield. Dude is a Manchester United legend in this career series through and through. As the full-time whistle blares out, it's going to be a 15-goal game over 2 legs. Absolutely ridiculous scenes. We're now at transfer deadline day. We haven't made any big signings, as I think it's not simply needed. I quite like this team. I think we've only got £50 million. Although that could give us a decent player, we're at the point where we're nearly needing 60, upwards of 100 million to get a first teamer. So we are going to be loaning out players, of course, and here is transfer deadline day. Raphael Varane receives a fee from Arsenal. He is quite unsettled as well, as he's playing a rotational position just because his stamina gets exhausted too much. So him, Trippier and Anthony have all handed in transfer requests. Thankfully, the board hasn't accepted those deals that have come through. I have staunchly rejected all of them, but I would be open to maybe next season selling Varane. But I wish you could put a thing saying, hey, foreign clubs only, because I am not strengthening any of the Premier League's top teams. I refuse to sell any player to Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Aston Villa. That's it. No, I don't care what you're offering. We ain't doing that. We are on strict transfer, so we can't even negotiate with clubs like Manchester City or Liverpool for players. I think even Chelsea to some extent. A big bid coming in for Mount there, but he's kind of happy being a bit part player. However, I am open to deals like this. Trippier, this is the first foreign deal we've received for him. I actually think he's probably been one of the biggest transfer mistakes I've made over previous years. We paid £40 million for him. I bought him for his free kick speciality, thinking more of a football manager mold, because there's obviously more free kicks in that. Also, massive bid comes in for Anthony, and we are going to try and negotiate with them. But I reckon this deal is just not going to have enough time and it's probably going to fall through. I'm actually happy to sell Anthony back to Ajax. It's his former club. It's very sensible and realistic if he wants to leave. I'm not selling him to Newcastle. I'm not selling him to Spurs. But for 100 million, sending him back to Ajax, we're getting our money. They even offered us a player in return. But I want the cash and they're not interested. 110 million minimum. So unless Trips goes to Sociedad on deadline day, there's not going to be any crazy deals for this football club as the deal slams shut. And now we've got a FA Cup match against Luton. So now that the Carabao Cup has now wound down quite a bit, we can focus on the FA. Unfortunately, we picked up a 2-2 draw, which is really disappointing at Old Trafford. So that means we're going to have to replay this full fixture now. And unfortunately, the deal broke down with Sociedad. I don't necessarily know why. We were nearly prepared to take a £30 million deficit, essentially. His overall rating massively dropped in stats. But here we go now, match against Liverpool. In the Premier League, Northwest Derby again. 6 minutes in, Vlahovic finds Fernandes. He steps up, and we've had pretty good performances against Liverpool. Another team that we tend to score a lot against. We struggle against Arsenal. They've been a bit of a bogey side for us when I think potentially Liverpool and Man City are both better teams. I think if we're ranking teams we've played like the worst against, I would say probably Arsenal are definitely up there. Chelsea is starting to creep up there now. I think we play quite well against Liverpool and Man City. We just tend to concede a lot against Liverpool. But we're 1-0 up, holding our lead as Liverpool go forward. It's taken till the second half for Liverpool to have their first real opportunity. As Luis Diaz goes forward, the Colombian sidesteps it to Gakpo. And this guy has been absolutely unreal since joining this football club. And it's now 1-1. We're still trying to go for that title challenge as we did last season. We fell off in the last month, only narrowly securing top 4 by a point. But like I said, main objective this season, we want to try and win the Prem. We want to try and win the Champions League. If I don't do either, now that we've had 2 full seasons, I would consider this season a failure. Particularly if we don't even win a bloody trophy, but it's going to be incredibly tough for us. But hey, I don't know. It's going to be completely up in the air. We still have got the Champions League round of 16 to come against Benfica. So we've got quite a decent draw. But at this moment in Season 2, Episode 4, the career series is sort of up in the air. I don't know how we're going to perform. Also, going pretty deep into the Cups and the Champions League does tend to cost us our form slightly. Sometimes getting knocked out in the Cup and the FA and maybe the Champions League early on, you can sort of purely focus on the Premier League. But even if we do that, we can't be conceding goals like that. Gakpo makes it 2-1 just before the 62nd. And now Liverpool have the ascendancy as Manchester United led for 50 minutes before there was a draw and then a loss change, as Liverpool now lead 2-1 against the Red Devils, thanks to Gakpo. United retain possession from the kick from the centre circle and want to try and build up from the back. Shaw, who's actually been quite an underrated fullback / left back this season. Fernandes finds Vlahovic. It is now 2-2. It has taken another 50 minutes or so since we got that first goal. But now we are drawing and we've maintained the lead for the majority of this match. Hopefully we can get in front and do it for the remainder of this. Vlahovic, what can I say about this guy? I think he's probably been a better striker than what Osimhen would have been. I'm just saying it now. The dude feels like a more physical Erling Haaland, maybe better with the head, and which is it's crazy to say. He nearly feels as quick as him. It's kind of absurd how Dusan Vlahovic is on FC 24 career mode. I'd highly recommend him if you want a big. He feels like prime Lukaku, like that 2015, 2014 man. Not so much like the Mourinho when he gets turned into a target man thing, but him just like running in behind. He feels nuts, particularly with that left foot hook. But it's 2-2 as they bring on Szoboszlai just before the 76. United have one opportunity here. Fernandes slips in Rashford. Can he take the lead? He somehow unbelievably sneaks it past Alisson as he comes charging on out. And in the 77th minute, with 50 seconds remaining to the 78, somehow Marcus Rashford picks up a world-class goal. Look at this. Alisson comes out, getting mixed up with my Brazilians. Rashford pummels it. And Liverpool lose their lead. And that's how it ended. An absolute thriller of a Northwest derby. 5 goals in total. Manchester United ultimately winning 3-2. Well, unfortunately on that note, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching Season 2, Episode 4 of my FC Manchester United realistic and sensible career series. Stay tuned for Episode 5, coming out the exact same time tomorrow. We're going to be in the February calendar month. The January transfer window has slammed shut, so any suggestions in the comments for players will have to be for Season 3, even if we're still at this football club. But let me know. We've also got Champions League football. We've also got the Carabao Cup final coming up at some point. But still, this career series is still very much up in the air. I can't wait to see where Season 2 ends. But anyway, thank you very much for watching and supporting this career series. If you are having fun, make sure to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. Would really much appreciate it. But apart from that, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.